praying?
Hi guys, so we have really good news today. We both found out, Julio and I, that we have officially tested negative for COVID-19. We both took two tests, and it was our choice to take two tests. We just wanted to be super safe and make sure that it was completely out of our system, and we both just got the results. So we did it. We wanted to come back on here and make a quick video because we did do that YouTube video when we were in quarantine, and we've received so many DMs and text messages of questions. So some of these questions were repetitive, so I decided to write down the top 10 questions and make a video to see if I could address all of the questions and concerns. But yeah, so the first question, and we'll take turns answering them. And I have the list down, so if you see me looking below, I'm looking at the list. The first question that you guys asked, I'm gonna have Julio answer it. It says they kept asking, so how long was our total quarantine?
Today would mark the 18th day.
Thanks. Feels like it was forever. The next question was, how did you guys kill the virus at home during quarantine? So as soon as we found out we had it, of course, our quarantine started. Like I said on our other video, we had so many friends and family members that just spoiled us with Lysol, hand sanitizers, sprays, food, just wipes, a bunch of things that we could help us, get rid of the virus. So we started spraying everything down, and we basically, every piece of clothes that we would wear or a towel that we would use when we would shower, we would just throw it in the hamper. And we couldn't leave the house. We weren't washing any clothes, so we were just throwing it in a hamper. Blankets, pillowcases. We also had Julio's parents that were super sweet and dropped off a bunch of clean blankets and towels, so we would just start using new ones every day.
One of the many things.
Yeah, one of the many things that they did. So basically, we were just putting everything in a hamper, and we didn't wash any of that until today when we finally got both results that we were negative. But every day we would spray if we sneezed, if we touched anything. We were treating our whole entire house like it was a virus zone. So we would spray, and everything that we touched, we would wipe it down. And yeah, that's how we try to kill the virus each day as we were recovering. Next question was...
fast forwarding to anybody washing clothes of somebody who's infected, or even yourself. As you're putting your stuff away in your hamper, they say that when you bring it out to wash, not to shake it, because you could basically, it's kind of like dust, you shake it off, it kind of, the virus kind of flies up in the air. So as you're washing, obviously wearing gloves and the mask, which is what we did when we washed, but just basically bringing it out of your hamper and slowly putting it in the washer without shaking it.
And we wore the mask and the gloves even though we were negative now, but we just didn't want to get infected.
Washing it at the highest temperature possible, and drying it.
Next question that Julio could answer is, do you guys know where you guys got it from now?
No. I mean, we could take, we kind of did some backtracking, but it's still, very small percent as to where we could have gotten it from. We don't know for sure.
Yeah, and I want to piggyback on that. We don't know where we got it from, and for those of you that haven't watched our YouTube video or don't know us on a very, very personal level, we don't hang out that much. Like I said in the video, we have been one of the most paranoid families out there ever since the pandemic hit. So we have denied invitations to go with our friends to Palm Springs or San Diego. We haven't traveled. The kids don't have any activities. Lala's not doing her singing classes or football games anymore. JC's not doing baseball. So we literally shut everything down, besides the pandemic making us. But when things started reopening up again, we were just so paranoid. We literally just stay home, and towards the end when things started getting better, we started visiting our friends and our best friends and our parents, my parents and Julio's parents. But even then, we don't let the kids, anybody babysit them, not even our in-laws, his in-laws, or my parents or his parents. So yeah, we don't know where we got it. We've been super, super careful. So next question, what was the worst symptom Definitely the worst symptom was not being able to breathe sometimes, or shortness of breath. Was that for you too?
Yeah, shortness of breath was the biggest challenge for me.
Yeah.
That was
Next
pretty shitty.
next question is any over-the-counter meds that you would recommend if you think you're exposed or if you do test positive for COVID?
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Obviously, Tylenol to keep the fever down if you have a fever or a headache. There no NyQuil. There's still some studies that say that there's an ingredient in there that actually can worsen the symptoms or prolong them. So for sure, no NyQuil for us. That's according to some of the research we did. Aspirin was up in the air. We didn't take it. I know, like when the president got infected, as soon as he got infected and treated, I actually went online and started doing the research on all of the medication they gave him because
We stopped what they gave Donald Trump.
we obviously wanted to see how they're taking care of this guy because there was a lot of things that we didn't know. So they had given him aspirin. So there was some research that apparently aspirin was also one of those things that would either extend or worsen some of the symptoms, but they kind of pulled back and removed that from the CDC website. So up to you guys on aspirin. We just didn't want to risk it. That even if there was they didn't have enough evidence, or data to back it up. But nevertheless, the way I seen it was, I don't care if there was 10 or 100 people out of a million that got worse. We didn't want to take that risk, so we just stuck with Tylenol. As soon as the president, we found out exactly what they treated him with. I'm probably gonna murder this word or this ingredient is famotidine, I think it's called. It's basically Pepcid AC. It's used for heartburn. You guys can look it up and Google it. There's actually a study that was done with a bunch of doctors in about, I think it was like 20 to 30 patients, all varying from age and if they had any prior symptoms or whatever. But they would give them high dosage of this stuff. So if you buy the Pepcid AC tablets, it says on the carton it says all you need is one at the 20 milligrams. But just so you know, the variance in the test, from 60 milligrams to 240 milligrams a day. So when you pop these pills where the label says one a day is all you need, based on that study, there was people that were taking 12 of these suckers a day. I didn't want to, again, it's at your own risk. I mean, we're at a point where we wanted to try to give ourselves the best opportunity possible to get through this. And obviously, if the president was taking it, they're not going to put him at risk. So although we didn't do the high dose of 240 milligrams, we were taking 120 milligrams a day. So 2 tablets morning, 2 tablets afternoon, and at night. So we were at 120 milligrams. I definitely felt like it did help some of the symptoms.
Me too.
It basically just cuts time. Everybody responds to it differently, but for us, it definitely worked. So Tylenol, Pepcid AC, I think that's about it as far as over the counter.
And Julio also did some research and invested on this machine called Blue, like our cat.
It's a air purifier, Blue 211 Plus. It has a filter in there, HEPA filter, that filters out to 0.01 microns. If you guys care to know anything on the coronavirus, I think they measured it down to 0.12 or 0.16. This one cleans it up to 0.01. So more than capable of grabbing any bacteria and viruses and filtering them out. But I mean, it's just clean air. It cleans up the air.
That was another thing that helped during our process of trying to get the virus out while we were in quarantine, is just having the machine on all day, every day. Next question, did you guys go to the ER? No, thank God we did not go to the ER. If you watch our YouTube video that we made, there was moments that we were super duper close on going, and they're really hard times, scary times. We didn't tell our friends, or especially our parents, because we didn't want them to be even more worried. But we made the decision not to go, and luckily we were able to get over the symptoms at the time that were like the shortness of breath that were really basically pushing us to go to the ER. But no, we didn't go to the ER, thank God. The next question is, now that we went through getting COVID-19, what do you think we could have done differently so we wouldn't have gotten it?
Probably go out more.
Right? Rebels?
Enter more like beer pong tournaments. Nah.
Go to Vegas.
Go to Vegas, party it up.
Not wear a mask.
Apparently, yeah. Just some of the people that we know that kind of been free, I guess you can say, they tested negative or they haven't got it to this day. So,
or they don't know they got it because they're asymptomatic.
Yeah,
so yeah, there's really nothing. Like I said, we were very careful, so that's a hard one to answer. Next question. So once you get the COVID-19 and then you go negative, are you guaranteed to never get it again? No. This is a question that was asked last time as well. We don't know. And we know we have the antibodies now, and maybe we could go 2 or 3 months with, if we're exposed to it, we might not catch it anymore. But that hasn't been confirmed, or there's not enough data to confirm that you could never get it again. So we could still get it. So this is not like a free pass now that we could do whatever we want and now we're masked. We're still going to be super careful. Next question. Do you know anyone that has it or died from it, from COVID-19? We actually do.
Yeah,
we know people that got it. One of my coworkers at work, her mom passed away from it. So we definitely knew friends of friends or family. It never really hit home until my coworker that I just mentioned. But we do know people that get it, that have gotten it. We know people that have overcame it just like us. But we also know of those people that, it was a sad story and they lost their life to COVID-19. And on that note, what I do want to say is that we're very thankful that we are negative now and that we don't have this virus. And this is nothing to be taken lightly, or, it's something very serious. And we just hope that these videos help you with all the questions that you guys message me, and just to get you guys a little bit more familiar with the COVID-19, because there were things that we found out after we got COVID-19, like how the virus can last on items for 3 days. But what I do want to say is that luckily that we're on the other end, where we're saying that we're negative and we're healthy and we made it, and we didn't have to go to the ER, but we do know a lot of people that don't make it. And I sit here and think now, because these 18 days, did you say it was 18 days? It feels like it's been forever that we've been home. They have not been, I have friends that tell me, oh, are you guys like ordering pizza every day and just like watching a bunch of Netflix series? No, we didn't feel good more than half of the time. We felt weak, we felt sick. It's gonna sound dramatic, but there was times when we couldn't breathe. We felt like we were gonna die. So this wasn't a vacation. This wasn't like the pandemic in the beginning where it's a lockdown and you're just forced to stay home. Like, we were forced to stay home to recover, but at the same time we had the symptoms, and that was scary. 2, we haven't seen our kids in like 18 days. We've just been able to FaceTime, so it's been hard. We haven't been able to like hold them or play with them. And 3, just with this whole experience, like, I've been working, I'm not gonna lie, I've been working from home and processing the loans and the escrows we have. He's been working as well, but the days that we felt good, we mustered the energy to work. But other than that, we've lost potential business. I haven't been able to show properties on some clients that have been waiting for me. So it has not been a vacation. It has not been, oh, you have 18 days of just resting at home and doing nothing, ordering pizza. And till this day, we're negative, but neither of us could taste or smell. So our house probably smells like poop. And everything that I'm cooking or he's cooking, it tastes delicious because we don't taste anything. So it has not been a good experience, but we're lucky to be on this side and be negative. Anything you want to add on?
Yeah, we have. I have some friends that there's mixed feelings about it. There's some people that supposedly claim they had it. Now that they look back and they got sick back in February or something like that, but they're not for sure. But it gets downplayed. Oh, it's just like a flu, like a bad cold or a bad flu, or which to some people that may be true, but the way it gets put out there, it's basically, hey, just even if you catch it, you'll be fine. But keep in mind that there is, no age in the sense of just because you're in your 20s or in your 30s, your symptoms are going to be less or whatever the case is. Um, Everybody goes through this thing differently. So for a friend to say, is this a bad cold or bad flu, and they're confirmed that they have had it, that's their experience. That doesn't mean that yours is going to be the same. It could be better, it could be worse. We don't know. Point is that it wasn't fun. It was pretty scary, to be honest.
Yeah, and what Julio said is absolutely on point as far as the virus just hitting everybody differently. And it doesn't matter your age or your condition, it's just a weird virus. I did say on the last video that my broker has it, and his symptoms were just fever every day and a headache. He also lost his taste buds, but other than that, I mean, he didn't have the symptoms that we had. So it just varies with everybody. Looking back, I'm like, I wish I would have not gotten the symptoms, but I'm thinking if I didn't get the symptoms, then I really wouldn't be able to appreciate what COVID really can be, like the bad side of COVID. And also, it's scary to think that there is people that are irresponsible and are out there without their mask. And luckily, they are asymptomatics and they have COVID-19 maybe or got it, but they don't have any symptoms, so they're just out there being careless without their mask. But they can pass it to someone that could get symptoms, or someone that's elderly, or someone that has asthma, and you don't want someone that's older or has some pre-condition already, because they're probably gonna either not survive or have a really hard time getting over COVID-19.
And the whole wearing the mask thing, just to clarify a couple things for those of you probably not aware, but the mask, when you wear it, even the N95 mask, the N95, the 95 basically means that it's gonna block in 95% of the particles coming in. Unfortunately, 5% of that, it doesn't block how small a particle COVID-19 is. Not to scare anybody, but when they say you wear the mask, you're literally wearing the mask so you don't spread it, in case you're coughing, sneezing, or whatever, and your respiratory droplets, you're not spreading them everywhere. But if somebody that has it, that's not wearing their mask, or they sneeze or what have you, if you look at some of these images online on when somebody sneezes and coughs and how much of a cloud that thing puts out, if you're walking through this cloud or you're sitting in it and you're exposed for it for a certain amount of time, the mask that we wear doesn't protect us from getting it. It's only to prevent us from our droplets being expelled out. So if you're in that room or whatever it is, especially if you're indoors and you're wearing your mask, does it help? Possibly, maybe a little bit, but it's not, don't think that because you wear the mask you're invisible. It's mainly worn so you don't spread it to others. But again, if that cloud is out there, or if you're next to somebody and you're talking to somebody that has the virus, your percentages do go down, but it's not, I think I read somewhere that if you're sitting down with somebody who does have the virus and both of you are wearing masks, and it's like more than 15 minutes, 30 minutes, your chances of getting is about 80%. Just to kind of, give you an example, but it doesn't mean that you won't get it.
Yeah, so just be careful, guys. Those were the top 10 questions you guys had. There was more questions, but some of the questions weren't repetitive, so I just answered them directly. But again, if you have any questions, or you just want to know more, or you think you have it, don't be shy, don't be embarrassed. It's weird because once we actually announced that we got it, and I wasn't ashamed to announce it, and I didn't announce it to brag, because there's nothing to brag about. I announced it just to let people know we were in quarantine, and also because they say once you're exposed, you want to let anybody that you came into contact. For me, it was like my coworkers, know that you had it. But once we actually posted it and we told people that we had it, okay, our cat's being a little PG-13 licking his butt. But anyhow, once we announced that we actually had COVID-19, there was a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, that messaged me or Julio and said, we had it in July, or we had it in August. Like people that we know, like people that I know from the industry, his cousins, we won't say names, that people were calling us, telling us their remedies or their tips or their advice because they had went through it. And I was in awe because I knew some people that had it, but I didn't know so many people were infected with it. And I get it. It's not something that you come out and want to start texting everyone, hey, I have COVID-19. You just want to quarantine and lay low. But there is a lot of people that had it or have it. And I'm happy that a lot of those people didn't have any symptoms, but like Julio said, it varies with everyone. So just be careful. We're sending a lot of love, a lot of peace. We're so excited to see the kids tomorrow, and we're just gonna go crazy this weekend. We're probably gonna leave like to a different country. Just kidding. Just kidding. We're gonna go back to our reality, work, continue being careful, and finish planning our wedding. But Blue's fine. Julio's fine. I'm fine. We're negative. We tested twice. Negative. Do not look at us weird. We're gonna continue laying low and being careful, but don't be weird or don't give us the side eye when you see us or we get to see you. But that's it. Do you have anything else? Okay. Love you guys. Stay safe and stay COVID free. Bye.